Hey everyone, Alexandra Adams, addict, alcoholic, recovering addict, and alcoholic. I just wanted to share something, and I am really grateful and happy to finally say I am feeling happy. Even though I have everything that I need right now, I had a little self doubt. Just want to make sure he's not in here. Had a little self doubt that I wasn't happy. With being a mom and 21 months of sober and being with family and with living with my parents, as I don't have full custody yet, but on my 2 years I will, and I'm pretty excited about that. But I suffer with a lot of disorders. Main ones is bipolar type 2, borderline personality, and I just want to quickly talk about those two. It is 1 out of 1,000,000 to have both of those disorders. Now, I was supposed to be diagnosed with bipolar type 2 and schizophrenic. Sorry, I do have a speech impediment, so bear with me. Now, because I actually hear voices, that's another disorder. Hearing actual voices. I know that they're in my head. I don't think that they're coming from someone else's mind, out of a register, out of anything. I know that it's only in my mind, and I'm the only one that can hear it. Now, being aware and having these disorders for a very long time, I got diagnosed with borderline personality. And because of all the other symptoms that showed that I have borderline personality. Now, with bipolar type 2 borderline personality, I also do have severe PTSD. Now, for me, bipolar is something that sucks, and you have no control over your highs and lows. But with severe PTSD, I have no control when I'm going to have an attack. When I was little, I did see a lot of people being abused. Not going to get technical into that. But with being abused myself, I can speak on my own actions and experiences. Now, when I was 13, I was first raped. Don't worry, my son can't hear this. He's in my mom's room. And this is the only chance for me to speak what's on my mind because I have a squirrel mind. But anyway, so I was raped when I was 13 by a 25-year-old, I believe. And it took 2 years for a trial to even happen. And by this time, I'm 15. I was already an addict and alcoholic. Started crack when I was 12. On my 12th birthday, started drinking when I was 10. Now, because I was drinking, the courts made it seem like it was my fault. Never is it okay. Never is it your fault if you're the victim of abuse. So the trial came, and he got 3 months house arrest. Yay! Boy, did I ever feel like I was useless. My crack addiction and my drinking got heavier. So, after years of using and being abused, I started selling myself. I am not proud of my past, but it made me who I am today. Sorry, I had to pause. My brother was coming down. Okay, but exactly, it made me who I am today, and I am so strong. But it didn't stop there. Since I didn't start caring about my body, I didn't care who hurt me. I didn't care if I even said no. Because I was taught when I went to court, when I got my virginity raped by me, stolen from me, I was told it was my fault. Unfortunately, I did go homeless for quite a few years in my town of Brooks, Alberta. and lost in my crack addiction. Hardcore crack addiction. Hardcore. I was pretty excited when I turned 18. I went to Calgary. Got my drink spiked. Long story short, I was sex trafficked for 4 months. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments like, oh, this didn't even happen, because it's happened. I've already been told 12 reasons apparently why none of my story is true. You know what? You wouldn't say that when you saw my ankle. I broke my own ankle after being held for 4 months, being tortured, gun forced to smoke their drugs, didn't feed me at all. I had to eat my own fucking feces and pee. Come on. Do you think it's easy for someone to admit that out in public? But no, I was hungry. They weren't feeding me. And my sexual abuse counselor basically told me I did it for another reason. I wanted them to think that I was sick. I didn't want them to do what they were doing to me. So my body reacted to survivor mode. And I didn't even know that until this year. With not hearing anyone in that house for 4 days, I knew that this was my chance. I broke my own freaking ankle so I can get out of those chains. Just hold on a sec. Don't mind my legs. They are hairy. Okay, so it's still me. Same voice. Now, this is really hard because I'm kind of overweight. But right here is where you see the chain mark. Don't mind my hairy legs again. Right here is where the base was. You can see it right under it says Lee. You can see the mark. Now, right here is where I broke it. Oh, you can see it. Now, with showing my ankle, my scars, my story experiences is not fake. I almost felt like giving up when someone first said that, and it was so hard that I ended up crying for 2 days because of someone that did not know me from a different country, never followed me on Facebook, told me that it didn't happen. I flashed back to when I was 13 and said it was my fault when I first got raped. Got my virginity stolen. And the courts and the people that let me down put that in my head, that it was my fault. So there was no charges laid. Yeah, I'm sorry that I can't give you full evidence that I didn't try to charge anyone. That doesn't mean that this abuse did not happen. Now, this happens to probably 1 in 5 people, 5 women, men that have been sexually abused. Doesn't come out because of we've been basically taught that it was our fault. Never, ever is it okay for anyone to treat someone like this. It is not our faults. I can now say that in confidence and truly understand what it means by saying it's not our fault. It's the perpetrator. It's the person that is abusing the victim's fault. I say sometimes it wouldn't have happened if I wasn't using. Look at all the cases for people that were sober, never a drug addict, and shit like this still happens. Like I said, no one knows my whole life but me. And I live through that pain every single day. My PTSD attacks, everything goes black for 4 minutes, approximately 4 minutes, and I can smell and feel and see in my imagination where I was when I was being abused. PTSD attacks isn't something that we're scared that's going to happen. It's something that actually happened. Now, with those 3 main disorders and also having severe insomnia, severe night terrors, ADD and ADHD, severe anxiety, severe depression, suicidal thoughts, actual voices in my head, recovering addict and alcoholic, that's 12 disorders. If you add them all together, I am a working case every single day. I can't wake up every day feeling the same. I'm different every single day. But now, with being sober and working through my past trauma, I am smiling more. I am not taking any negative people in my life anymore. And when people are negative, I just ignore them and be nice back. Now, I also hate when people compare their abuses. It doesn't matter. You have trauma. Trauma is trauma. That's how I got through what I went through. And watching other people go through and being stuck, it is so hard because I know that you can't say, oh, just switch your mind, because it doesn't work like that. The reason why I am here right now, I am today, is because of meetings. It's because addictions every week, mental health every week, plus sexual abuse counseling every week. It doesn't just go away. You need to work hard for this. I worked really hard to be where I am today. And today is just my first actual day of being relieved. And I did all this work. Me. Not a friend, not my son. Fortunately, I wish I could say I could have quit for my son, but we all know as addicts and alcoholics, we can only quit for ourselves. I just want others to open up and speak up and know that it's not our faults, because it's not. And for people saying that addiction's not a disease, weird, because doctors say it is, surgeons say it is, nurses say it is, and for diseases under the government law, addiction is a disease. Imagine that. So be careful with your words. And I'm not going to tear someone down just for them saying it's not a disease, because guess what? They don't want to admit that it is. And just be you, and don't be someone else for someone else. Like, don't quit drugs for someone else, because it ain't gonna work. I just want people that have been sexual trafficked, sexual abuse, any kind of abuse, and with disorders, lots of disorders, and recovering addicts and alcoholics know that it does get better, even with severe trauma. Like, look at me. I can't believe that I'm sober. I didn't think that this was ever possible. But it is. One day at a time. More videos to come.